Hi everybody, this is Angie from Tourangie.com, and today I'm continuing on with my golf cart tour videos. This is the street view after leaving Trevi Fountain, and it's going to continue on for a little bit. I'm going to pull the golf cart's going to pull off to the side for a second, but I won't have the camera running at that point because I'm running into a candy store to buy some souvenirs. But after that, we continue on our way through Rome, and we're going to the Saint Ignazio Church. Now, I will apologize because at that point I'll be taking the camera out of the windshield of this golf cart, and it's actually going to be me walking around the area in front of the church and then going inside with the camera. And the camera doesn't pick up very well inside. It doesn't have the flash or light, and it is kind of darker inside the church, but still it's a good opportunity for you all to see the inside of the church, and I will post some pictures at the end. I'm not doing too many edits in the video because I want you to see, as I'm standing there on the outside of the church, the people that are walking by, and of course I'm not the steadiest with the camera. You will see my tour guide. He'll pop in and out of the frames several times, but he's my golf cart tour driver, and he is full of knowledge. So I highly recommend doing golf cart tours in Rome. But anyway, right now I'm just stopped here. There is a candy store, and I had to get some candy. So now we're back rolling, and we're on our way to Saint Ignazio. And I'm going to talk a lot about Saint Ignazio's church and everything else. So let's talk a little bit about this church that we're driving to. Originally, back many years ago, even before Julius Caesar times, this section was not even a section of Rome, and as the population increased, this became part of Rome. At the time of Augustus, and maybe even up to Caligula after the turn of the century, there, sometime in the 100s, I guess, is what you would say, there was a temple of Isis here. And if you're not familiar, Isis is an Egyptian goddess. She's known for being a role model for women, principal deity of rights for the dead, protector of women, curer of the sick, and bringer of the magic. So this was well before Christian times in Rome. Needless to say, that was done away with. There was a huge fire in Rome, and that destroyed a lot, but what was built in place was a lot of buildings and different things that were owned by a family. And the family this was in the 1500s, so this is many years later. The family, it was the lady of the family, she sold after her husband died. Her name was Valle della Valle. Anyway, she sold the entire city block and the existing buildings on it to the Society of Jesus in memory of her late husband. And this was in 1550s or 1560. And it became the Roman College area. And then after that is when the church was built. The church started to be built in the 1600s, somewhere around like 1620, and from the very beginning it had huge budget problems. It wasn't until maybe 1650 things really, when it finished up, became a place of worship. But there was so many budget problems, and we're going to talk a little bit about them, but you might barely be able to tell what I'm talking about with these budget problems from the outside view, but then the inside, it's very tricky to tell. So the first thing I want to talk about is, most of the basilicas and churches, they have a domed roof. And this one originally planned to have a dome on it, but they ran out of money. Like I said, they had serious money difficulties with this church. So it ended up being a flat roof. And what they did was they brought artists in to make it appear like a dome. So we'll go inside and you'll see how the art is painted on the ceiling and the angles of the ceiling and different things to help you make you think that this is a domed roof. It's even in the center of the dome, they've painted light to come through the dome. Even though it's painted, it still appears, just at a quick glance, oh, there's light coming through the dome, the center of the dome. But you stand over to one side of the church, you realize the light doesn't change places. It's still pointing towards one side. It never moves. So they did a great job painting it, but it's still not a dome. It is a flat-roofed church. Now, as we walk inside, you see it's very crowded, and there's also a line. If you're coming to visit here, don't jump in line. You do not need to be in line to come into this church. This line is to take a selfie with a mirror. That is some sort of rage right now with the kids of the day. The kids today. I don't know exactly what it's about, but I'm sure the mirror with the selfie is helping to show that this art on the roof, it's not a dome, it's flat, even though it's painted to look like a dome. But do you see that right there? It looks like a dome, but it is flat. That ceiling is flat. So yes, do not get in the line. You can see people standing over here to the right. They're in line to get a picture taken with a mirror of themselves with a selfie. It's kind of weird. But this church is beautiful. There are side chapels on each side. There's the main altar. It's just absolutely beautiful. And then right up ahead in the very circle in that dark part of the ceiling, that is where it's painted to appear that light is coming in. I'll be moving over to the right shortly and hope that this camera shows that good enough. But I'm going to continue talking about the church itself. Pope Gregory the 15th went to college here in the early 1600s when it was the Roman college, and he was very attached to the church here. And following the canonization of Ignatius the Loyola, I'm sorry, Loyola, he suggested that there be a new church dedicated to the founder of the Jesuits, and it should be erected here at the college itself. So that is how the church came to play, and that was in 1620s. That's when they started to build the church. And like I said, by the 1650s it started. It took them years to get the foundation stone laid. It took like 4 years to do that. And then the rebuilding of the church, because it was an old church here at that point. The artist, I had mentioned him, and he obviously a major artist, because to make it look so dome shaped when it's flat, is Andrea Pozzo. And he did all the ceiling art. He painted frescoes everywhere. He's very responsible for the art in this place. The first chapel on the right has an 18th century altarpiece, and it's worshiping the Virgin and Child. So that's something interesting. The third chapel shows the altarpiece of the Virgin of the Temple. And the second chapel has an altarpiece depicting Saint Joseph and the Virgin. And then on the left side, there is in one of the chapels, or what I would consider a little bit of a chapel, is a little art display going on. So you might be able to see that from this video too. There's some art that you can, looks like a little gallery showing right there. But there's also another chapel on the left too, which I take a moment and sit down and I don't know, just look around while I'm sitting there at some point. So yes, this is the church, and you're seeing a lot of the roof. My tour guide is really pointing out details and different things to me that, of course, me making this video later, I do not know many of the details that he's saying. I'm trying to remember as much as I can. But this is why you should buy a golf cart tour. The people on these tours know a lot about the areas and what they're talking about when they're showing these sites to you. And as you can tell, even with being off of the golf cart, I didn't have to walk a lot. Just, we walked a little bit past it or out into the open square in front of the church just to get a grand view of the church. And then we just walked inside. So it was still not a lot of walking for those of you who can't do a lot of walking. And for those who can walk, a golf cart tour is still the way to go because it takes you to so many places throughout the city. If you're on a short time, you can see a lot with these golf cart tours. Okay, now you're seeing the art that's featured on in this one chapel area. It may not actually be the side chapel area, but to me it appeared to be. So this is a very, very busy church, and I am here on a Sunday. So that's after church service, because it is still an active church. So that is something to remember if you are coming to Rome and on a Sunday. Be prepared. If you're wanting to visit churches, you have to wait till after their church services are done. But the churches are free to visit. And another thing, if you're here on the first Sunday in Rome, a lot of places like museums and even the Pantheon, it's free to enter. Just be prepared. There will be a lot more people wanting to enter these places. So can you imagine in the summer visiting the free places on Sunday, the first Sunday of every month, visiting the places you can get in for free during the summer? Summer is packed here in Rome. And I'm here in December, and it's still very, very busy. So yes, I hope you've enjoyed this video. I'm not going to talk too much more. You can see I'm holding my bag of chocolates as I'm walking around looking and talking, and this is a very odd unedited video because my video editing is not doing the best today, so I just put in my voice over top of stuff. So this is Angie from Tourangie.com. Come to my website, read my blogs, make appointments so I can help you plan your next travel adventure. Talk to you later.